Welcome to Kruk and Kuip. They might be giants. Your prospect pipeline and Sunday spotlight show this week. You can follow me at Rob Iman at twitter.com. Tonight we're going to be talking. Tonight's spotlight is going to be on Mike Krukow. Let's go around who's trending up and who's trending down in the minors. Right now, trending up is Austin Slater. Austin Slater looked good this week, and I think Slater could be a guy that could get a look at the show soon if Drew Stubbs doesn't improve things in center field. And Slater could play many different positions. So if Span ends up being out longer than expected, I think Austin Slater could be a guy that can come in and plug some holes for the Giants temporarily. Another one trending up this week is Yuan Gregorio. And Gregorio is looking very close to being MLB ready, and especially if the Giants start going into sell mode. If things don't turn around in the month of May, I could see Gregorio being on the short list of call-ups as in terms of the prospect pipeline. So Gregorio might be a guy to certainly watch in the minors right now. And today Ty Beatty, he pitched pretty well for the Rivercats today. He could be another guy that could be up with the Giants by the end of the year if things don't turn around. And Beatty could be that number 2 or number 3 guy, especially depending on what happens with Cueto here down the stretch. Cueto could be on the move if the Giants do go into sell mode in the future. But I think Austin Slater is going to be certainly a guy to watch in the next few months. Can he get it together and prove that maybe he's ready for a call-up? Another one's Ryder Jones. He's a guy that they've been now trying out in the outfield, and I expect at some point we could see Ryder Jones up at the club by September. And then trending down is Dan Slania, who has not looked good thus far in the PCL and could be heading for maybe a refresher course in Double-A. Another one trending up for Double-A has been Slade Heathcock. I think Slade Heathcock might be ready for the PCL very soon. And Kyle Kruk has looked good this week. One trending down has been Mac Williamson. And we really need Mac Williamson to get healthy soon. He's not – we can't be stuck with Drew Stubbs for too much longer. Stubbs is not hitting the ball any better than Marrero or Gorkas. And at some point Williamson needs to be ready to go to contribute for the major leagues, and I'm hoping Williamson can get 100% soon. We really need Mac Williamson out in the outfield, and we really need to find out if Mac Williamson is going to be the future in left field, especially with maybe Span being gone by after this year, maybe Pench getting traded. with it being, if the Giants do have a down year, we are going to be having to maybe rely more on the youngsters, and hopefully Mac Williamson can get it back together and right the ship here. Hopefully he will be 100% very soon. We need his arm. We need his bat. We really need some sort of hitting besides Hunter Pence in the outfield right now. It's been tough sledding, and especially if the Giants do go into sell mode, which could happen if things don't turn around in the month of May. And speaking of the Rivercats, this week's schedule for the Rivercats. This week, Sacramento goes on the road down the Highway 99 to play the Fresno Grizzlies this week in my neck of the woods. They will have a 4-game series in Fresno against the Grizzlies Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Then they go home back to Raleigh Field to play the Reno Aces, and that will be a 4-game series. The Grizzlies are the AAA affiliate of the Houston Astros, and the Aces are the AAA affiliate of the Arizona Diamondbacks. So while they're at home this next 4 games, please go out and go see a Rivercat game. They are a good chance to take a look at some of these prospects that'll maybe be up in the majors before too long. And if you live in the Fresno area, catch a Grizzlies game this week. Fresno needs the attendance, and now the buses will be running later, so you can get home from Chachansey Park on the bus if you worry about parking downtown. And now on to this week's Spotlight, Mike Krukow. If you noticed this week, during the Royals series, you saw Mike Krukow did not make the trip to Kansas City. He never makes the trip anymore to Wrigley due to stair issues. And the problem is that Mike Krukow is just having health issues nowadays. And he has a degenerative muscular disease. And it's starting to affect his mobility. And he requires a cane to walk on. And now, even when he's boarding airplanes, sometimes he is required to have wheelchair assistance. So this week you may not be seeing Krukow in Cincinnati because of his health issues and mobility issues. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard not hearing one day. It's going to be sad when you're not hearing the words, "Grab some pine meat," or "in the squat." Yes. And Krukow's been with the Giants since 1990. And it's been very hard. And he's even going to probably and this might be the beginning of, you're going to see his schedule get cut back more as he's getting older and this muscular disease gets worse. But I enjoyed watching Jeremy Affeldt the other day. He was good. And I think we might be seeing Javier Lopez maybe on this next series. And watching it like it was with Vin Scully, it was hard for me to see Vin leave the Dodgers last year, and Vin was a guy that was a class act when it came to being an announcer. He was the gold standard for announcing in baseball. And you will never see a guy like Scully again. He had very good stories to share. Very classy guy. And after that Giants fan that got beat by the Dodger fans, Scully was there to pay his respects and stuff and visit. And he said there was just no place for that in baseball, and it really ticked off Vin Scully when that happened. But back to Krukow, it's gonna be hard to find a replacement for Krukow, but this is gonna be the new reality, is trying to find a replacement color commentator, as now he can't make East Coast trips anymore. And it's gonna be harder for him to make road games anymore, so you might even see his schedule get reduced even more by next year. And enjoy Krukow while you can before you get relegated, maybe just doing home games. Along with Kuiper. Kuiper's getting up there in age. And John Miller, who knows how much longer John Miller is going to be around for the Giants. He's starting to get up there in age too. And then you got Dave Campbell. No, not Dave Campbell. Dave Fleming, who's not doing as many Giants games nowadays since he's doing a lot more assignments for ESPN. So they may have to bring in another play-by-play guy to replace Dave Fleming in the future, as Fleming keeps getting a lot more work for ESPN nowadays. And with all the layoffs and cutbacks going on at ESPN, we might see Dave Fleming get used more. So it's going to be some interesting times in the Giants broadcasting booth the next few years. And then some final things I forgot to mention earlier. We did have some roster moves happen. Brandon Crawford was moved from the bereavement list to the 10-day disabled list with a groin strain. So Kelby's going to be up for a while. The other roster move that was made after last night's game was Neil Ramirez was designated for assignment, and they purchased the contract of Brian Morris. And I don't know if Morris will be any better or not. I would have maybe preferred them to call up Osich or another lefty. But Josh Osich has been struggling in Sacramento right now, and I don't know what's wrong. I don't know. Osich is maybe starting to have regression, so maybe they're worried about what's happening with Osich, and maybe they might need to maybe look at bringing in some free agents and stuff. They need to get another lefty in the pen to shore up some of the work from Stephen Okert. Who knows what this season's going to bring. Well, good riddance to April and hello to May tomorrow. Thank you and have a good night. Oh, together we're giant. Thank you. Have a good night.